Hey everybody, it's Micah with Membarium, and today we have one of my friends, longtime associate, just kind of a beast in the business world, Sir Wesley of California, the sales whisperer, Wes Schaefer. Welcome to the show, Wes.
I like that. I think the British are onto something. Sir Wesley, can I get knighted? Do you got contacts? Can you make that happen?
You know, not the real royal family, but one of those like scam royal families. I could make that happen.
All right, well, let's do it. I'll take it. Hey, it's the internet, right? It's 2023. We can do whatever. We can give ourselves any title we want.
It's true. It's true, man. Well, let's start there. What is your title at the Sales Whisperer?
Chief cook and bottle washer, man. So people are like, "What's the sales whisperer?" I'm like, "Me." you know, I literally made it up one day, September 1st, 2006, and I bought the URL. I trademarked it. So you're looking at the Sales Whisperer.
All right, so we got the Sales Whisperer here. And even though this is a memberships and courses podcast, I do want to ask about sales specifically because I feel like a lot of people with memberships and courses, a lot of subject matter experts, almost avoid sales, like real sales. You know, they might say, "Oh, I want to have a sales page," but they don't do a lot of sales, right? So tell me, what's the difference between sales and marketing, first of all?
Man, I've always said that marketing is just selling in print. Something hit me years ago. I'd tell people that, great marketing makes selling easy, but great selling makes great marketing possible.
What do you mean?
Well, think about it. Like, McDonald's, they don't have to sell, right? They have great marketing. They're known. They're a brand. So everybody there is just an order taker. Hey, you want fries with that? You want to supersize it for an extra $1, right? So their marketing is, they've got a NASCAR. Do they have a blimp? They may have a blimp. I don't know. They're on buses. They're on billboards. They're everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
But back in the day, to get started, take big names like Procter and Gamble, right? Those are human beings. I think they were brothers-in-law. Procter and Gamble, and they were like selling soap to the Union Army, and so they were out there hustling and they sold. And then over time, their great salesmanship helped them grow. Now they have the money to do great marketing. And so people, it's why sales and marketing are always at odds with one another in most companies, is that they think that they're different. And they're not. Marketing, when you run a Facebook ad, the image is a sale. The headline is a sale. The description is a sale. The call to action is a sale. So marketing is just selling in print. So if you don't understand what's going on in the mind of the prospect, that's why your marketing sucks.
So let's talk about, if you can get a little more specific for us, let's talk about somebody with an online course or membership site. And their goal is to sell 100 of that thing. And let's assume that the quality is good, that it's a useful product. It may not be the fanciest, may not have been the highest quality cameras and all that, but they've got some content that's worthwhile. They want to sell 100. They hire you. What kind of approach are you going to take, or process are you going to put them through?
Yeah, the people, they think more is better. The course developers. And the reality is the hardest thing is to get people to consume your content, consume it, then apply what they learned. So you got to think through that. The curse of knowledge is a real thing. And so so much about your niche, you just want to keep adding and adding, and you think, oh, they're going to log in. They're going to see that there's 100 videos and 47 PDFs. They know this is worth $10,000, and the reality is, if there were like 3 videos and 1 PDF, but I got to ask you some questions and I could apply this quickly and solve a $20,000 pain, then it would be totally worth 10 grand.
So you have a course yourself. You just kind of mentioned it a little bit. And you mentioned that you basically just give them access. There's not a forced order so that they can jump around and grab what they need, right? Tell me a little bit more about the delivery of the course. Is there any follow-up that goes with it? Do you just unlock it and say, here you go, goodbye? Like, what do you do after the sale, right? So you've done a good job, you've sold, they're in your course. What does that look like from there for your member?
Yeah, I've experimented with both types. I had a 30-day drip sequence on one of my programs. And then, and you had to wait a day to get to the next one, next one. I was just reading a thing about the binging and, do shows want to release all at once or one at a time or two at a time? So, I mean, even the big companies are trying to figure this out. So, man, I don't have an exact answer. You got to, the old adage in marketing is you must enter the conversation going on in the mind of the prospect. So what are they telling themselves? What pain point are you solving? Can it be done quickly? Can it be solved quickly? Can they educate themselves and apply what they're learning quickly? Or is this a deeper level skill you're trying to help them master that takes some amount of time? I tell people all the time, it's like I rarely do any kind of like sales boot camp because I know the results, the impact I'm going to make is limited. If I come in for a day or 2 days, we can move the needle a little bit. But, it's like going to a 2-day basketball camp or golf, retreat. You hack away for 2 straight days, and you come home with blisters on your hand and your back is sore and you're sunburnt. But then now you're busy though, life gets in the way. It's 2 weeks before you go back to the course. And lo and behold, you're slicing it right off the first tee box. You're like, what the hell? Did I learn anything, right? You're better off maybe go to a half-day boot camp and then commit to a 30-minute lesson every day the next week, and then an hour of range time after that, and then go play twice that week and then do it again. That's how you start to make some improvements.
So I'm right in line with everything you're saying, but let's say there are those companies like the one you're dealing with who is not being truthful about what they're offering, right? Because when you talk about how you need to help people with accountability, with hand-holding, with being very precise, all these things in the beginning, that's kind of hard to sell because they want the magic pill, right? They want to hear, oh, I pay you and this is fixed magically, and somebody else might tell them that. So what's the approach to selling somebody on, hey, this is what's really good for you? Like you might be looking at things out there, we have a solution that may be a little bit more difficult, like it might take 3 months. These guys are saying they can do it in whatever day, a boot camp. How do you, I guess, sell that? I don't know what you'd call it, that level of commitment. How do you get somebody to buy into that thinking,
Yeah, it's hard. In the beginning, you may have to give it away in return for testimonials or sell it, as a pre-launch or a beta. And tell people, say, look, this is more detailed, it's more nuanced, but it's thorough, it's accurate, it's correct. It's not pie in the sky. This is real world. This is what you truly need to get these results. So maybe you need some of those and get some testimonials and get people singing your praises, because you have to, when you go get testimonials, you got to think through, again, we must enter the conversation going on in the mind of the prospect. So what are they telling themselves? Oh, this guy over here says I can do this in a day. This guy says it's the one weekend thing. You're saying it's 60 days. When I was selling a whole bunch of Infusionsoft, I told people straight up, and I still tell people, whether it's Keep or Ontraport or HubSpot, because they're like, how quickly can I get this up and running? And I know what they're thinking, right? So I tell them, oh, I don't know, 30 minutes. What? I'm like, but what do you mean up and running? I can get you a web form for the Contact Us page, or a web form for, that free report you say you have. And I can get you the HTML code to embed on your website, and we can tag that person and send them the PDF in about 30 minutes. Is that what you mean by up and running? Oh, no. I mean, oh, you mean like replace your entire business, fire all 500 of your employees so this runs on autopilot and just dumps money into your bank account 24/7? Yeah, it's going to take a few years. Like, okay, well, somewhere in between. I'm like, be prepared to work harder than you've ever worked for about 90 days. We're going to get the key things done. We're going to go through your existing processes, document them, map out ideal states, start building the workflow, testing it, blah, blah, blah. Oh, okay. So, I mean, I'd tell them straight up, because, that's why I didn't have complaints. I told people this is going to be hard when you start. Then it gets easy, really easy, So you got to somehow convey the truth, and you got to tell people it's hard, right? You got to tell them what they need to hear so that you set the proper expectations. And nobody's perfect at it. I can't tell you how many times people came to me after they bought from someone else and go, "Oh my gosh, no, can you help me fix it?" Because they were sold a pie in the sky, you know. And you can feel bad for those people, but you still got to charge them, you know,
Yeah.
because they will drag you down. So you got to be upfront and honest about this. But you know, if it is hard, maybe, hopefully, you do some type of hand holding or some type of extra support to get them through, you know, the early stages. But that, I mean, dude, we're all struggling with that, right? Because there's always shysters. There's always somebody out there promising an easy button, the fountain of youth, some type of shortcut, the silver bullet, and it just doesn't exist.
Yeah, and I like your approach though of clarifying, well, what do you think you're going to get out of that magic bullet or whatever? Like, do you actually believe that? You know, well, I mean, I want to, but no, right? Help me relate a little bit of this, Wes, into a one-to-many environment to kind of bring this home for these membership and course people, because I'm sure most of them would love to get on the phone with their prospect. But let's say that they are trying to do this through marketing, right? Through sales and print. How do they, you know, how would you go about helping somebody do this? Is it a survey? Is it like, how do you get them in a one-to-many environment to admit their pain and rate it, and, you know, then have the time to talk to them about your solution to it and all that?
Yeah, that's the other $1,000,000 question. People are hard to reach. We're distracted. And, you know, this is all by design. We are up against, you know, multi-$100 billion corporations, $1 trillion corporations, the government. You know, they tell people, you know, we're distracted by pot, porn, and playoffs. And how to get someone's attention, you must enter the conversation going on in the mind of the prospect. How do you get them to stop and pay attention? Where are they hanging out? That determines the type of ad that you run, the promises that you make, how you deliver. I'm a big fan of, and I've said this for years, you know, you do what doesn't scale. You know, I use things like BombBomb and Bonjoro to send a custom video. And you'll see some of these, like you'll click on a link and it'll be, "Hi, I'm Wes. Thanks for clicking." But they never say your name, right? Or they'll have one of those little whiteboards and your name will be on there. "Hi, Micah." You know it's auto-generated. I mean, I make the actual video. "Hey, Micah, it's Wes at the Sales Whisperer. Thanks for downloading my report, you know, 7 Deadly Sins of Selling. Let me know how I can help." How long does that take? 7 seconds? People aren't willing to do that, you know? Somebody comes on my podcast, you know, I'll sign my book and mail it off to them. Something physical, something tangible. So how can you make people feel special? We're all hung up in these tripwires and all this other lingo that people just make up, and it's the bro culture, you know. And personally, I'm so burned out on. I just made a post today. You'll see it when I put it everywhere: LinkedIn, Facebook, Twitter. What is that? It's 15 ways to be an alpha male thought leader, influencer, lion closer.
Oh, nice.
It's like, you know, this whole bro culture that's going on. It is very hard to find the signal in the noise.
So, I mean, there's so much in everything you're saying. I really appreciate you coming on and sharing. I want to pick one nugget out of that you said kind of at the beginning, which is, because my initial question was something along the lines of, you know, how do you open that conversation with somebody? Like, how do you even get them to pay attention to you, right? And I think your answer, what I took from it was, well, you reach out to them. If they download your free report, don't send them a series of emails, send them a personalized video. Hey, you know, "Hey, Wes, it's Micah. Just want to say thanks, blah, blah, blah." I think it's really smart, really key.
Yeah, I'd say, you know, it's multimedia, multi-step. Okay. And I've always done this. I immediately start looking up people on all their social media accounts. Somebody, you know, signs up for something, I go look for them. I'll go connect on LinkedIn. "Hey, just saw you got my report. Just wanted to say hi and connect with you here." I'll send them a video. And granted, look, if you got a big business, you know, you're generating hundreds of leads a day or thousands a month, it's not practical for you to do that. But do you have a team? can your system, through lead scoring or whatnot, as you identify the hotter prospects, because I've always told people, like, the thank you page is one of the most wasted resources in business. You opt in for something, and it's, thank you, someone will be in touch. Thank you, be sure to check your junk mail for, the email we're sending. Upsell them right there. Okay. So you give a free report. Okay. And you know how it is. It's the more info you ask up front, the fewer people that'll fill it out, but you'll get more leads. So ask for a little bit. Like sometimes I won't even ask for name, just email. Well, the thank you page is some kind of bonus. Hey, the report you asked for is on its way. Hey, get my book, get my sales objection flashcards. Normally $20. Right now, just $10. This is the only time you're going to see it at this price. I do that for webinars. I have people register. I'll give them a big discount on something little, because they just got a free report. They're not going to like buy $1,000 coaching program, but some will eventually. So I'll take them. Hey, thank you card, the flashcards. Boom. Okay. Hey, take them to another thank you page. Dude, thank you for taking action. Now I got all their info. Right. Well, now I also know who a buyer is. The 80-20 rule says, let's say you had 1,000 people sign up for your webinar, 200 of them will take you up on a little offer. 20% of those, 40, will buy the next offer. Maybe you got a $97 course. Okay, sell it to them for 50. 20% of those 40, what's that? 8 will buy your $1,000 program. But at a minimum, if you go from 8 or 1,000 that opt in and 200 buy something, okay. If you got even a small team, if you got 3 people can make custom videos for 200 people. That's 70 videos a piece, roughly, right? And you can, once you get it down patted, it will take under a minute. And if you're generating these 1,000 names over the course of a week, right, leading up to a webinar, so what's that? 10 a day, 15 a day? Give me a break. You can do that. Anybody can do that, right? So figure out ways to make them feel special. Worst case, maybe again, you take them somewhere. If you get their cell phone, you can text people. You can do it, and texting is a little easier to make it appear customized. But you can text from your phone, sitting at a stoplight. You're watching a game. All right, bang out a few text messages. You got to be creative, multimedia, multi-step, because you never know how people want to connect. Some are audio, so, some are visual, whatever. So connect with them every way you can.
Well, dude, Wes, I love this. We haven't had this kind of just core fundamental input. Usually we are talking about, tripwires and lead magnets and, percentages and things like that. People who want to know more about you or connect with you, what's the best way for them to do that?
Just thesaleswhisperer.com. Super simple. Everything's there. All my social media, I'm on all the big platforms. My cell phone number is on my website, so as long as you're not a jerk, I respond. I respond better to text. Sometimes I answer my phone, but from there, the contact us takes you to my calendar, and I do a 15-minute free call with anybody. So just start there. Let me know what ails you, and I'll see if I got something that'll help.
Genius. I love it. Well, hey, thanks again, man. It's good to talk to you.
Yeah, dude. Good to see you.